All right, today on Fiverr Talks, we're going to be talking about quick responses. That's right, those little messages that you can craft and have pre-created, ready to go at a moment's notice right inside of Fiverr. And if you're not using quick responses, you're missing out on a huge opportunity to up your response time and serve your customers well. Let's get to it. That's right, welcome back to Fiverr Talks. As always, my name is Joel Young. We are the only channel on YouTube that I'm even aware of that talks about nothing but Fiverr all the time with a top-rated seller like me who will guide you through the perils of selling on a platform like Fiverr and help you to find success, hopefully, in whatever it is you seek to do and however you define success. Today, we're going to talk about what I believe to be one of the greatest innovations that the platform has ever put in the hands of their sellers, and that is the quick response. So if you're unfamiliar with this, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, then you need to hear this. Fiverr actually, a long time ago, put into play a sweet feature called quick responses, which are essentially messages you can save in a little roll right there on your message board. You can send these both in the inbox and on gig pages. And you can simply select a quick response title and it will autofill that pre-typed message into a message box. Now, for a lot of people, since we're living in the age of AI and bots and automated responses, they may think that this is impersonal, that it's cold, that it's not wise. But let me tell you, I owe a great deal of my success to crafting really timely, really thoughtful, really poignant quick responses and utilizing them on a daily basis. So over the next few minutes, I want to actually talk to you about how to write great quick responses, when to use them, and why to use them. So let's first start with why use quick responses. Like I said, many people might think that is cold, that that's impersonal, that it's roboticized and makes you more like our AI counterparts, which nobody likes. But the truth is, Fiverr is tracking every response that we send, both how long it takes us to send it to a buyer or a potential buyer, what we're saying in there. All these things are tracked. And so you've got to be careful about what you say and make sure that you say it in a timely manner. You don't want to let something go. In fact, one of the 3 categories that you are ranked on to determine your level or whether or not you can keep your level, being level 1, level 2, or top rated seller, is response time. And you have to maintain at least I know for top rated sellers, we have to maintain a 90% response rate, meaning that we respond to at least 90% of our messages within 24 hours of receiving an initial message from a buyer. And you'll know that you're being tracked on this because a little clock icon will appear next to those messages and it will count down and get red as you get closer to 24 hours. So because of that, and if you have a lot of messages coming in, you've got to find ways to get responses out to customers as quickly as possible. And sometimes you're going to see the same things come up over and over. What's a price for this? What's included? How do you handle this? What's your process like? And if you can craft great messages that you can simply, from a phone app nowhere near your office, click a quick response on and send it to someone, it is a great advantage to you as a seller. And it's one of the great advantages and ways to keep yourself sane while also staying connected to the e-commerce community on Fiverr, serving customers and actually starting conversations with potential customers. Because often what I've seen is that conversations that start with a quick response end with very detailed personal responses, but it's a part of that ladder you must climb to get all the way to the sale. So that's why you should use quick responses. I think it's very important, and you need to think hard about what you're doing if you're not using quick responses right now. Next, let's talk about how to write a great quick response. In other words, something that feels personal and warm, something that allows you to get a lot of information out of there in a short period of time. How do you do those things? Make sure that they're all compliant, they sound good, and they're useful. Well, the first thing that I did when I had a success manager, I've since cycled out of the buyer success program, but if you're a top rated seller, you will have, for a short period of time or a longer period of time, you'll have a customer success manager come alongside you and basically kind of be like a personal contact for customer support, though I can tell you customer support is faster than these buyer success agents because they're just not they're handling too many people. They're just not very quick. But what I did as a top-rated seller was I ran these by my success manager and said, hey, these are some of the quick responses I'm using. What do you think? Is the language okay? This is something I'm thinking about putting into a quick response. What's your thoughts? What are your ideas? And getting feedback that way. If you don't have a success manager, you can even just message customer support and say, hey, I'm crafting a quick response for a potential customer to explain my services. Can I say this? Can I say that? Maybe you're crafting one for a delivery message, running it by people, asking friends, asking people in the know. Maybe if you have other seller friends or a community of sellers that you kind of join up with, then ask other people what they think of your quick responses. And that'll tell you what someone who's cold to the situation really thinks about what you're sending to your buyers or potential buyers. And if they don't understand it, then you need to change things. But if it makes things simple for them to understand, easy for them to comprehend, if it answers their questions, then it's going to be great for the potential buyer who at least has some scope of understanding of your service and what you do and is looking for what you do because they messaged you already. So that's how you craft a great quick response. And a good rule of thumb is that you should keep most quick responses to no more than 3 or 4 sentences. That's something that I always try to keep in mind, is that I need to get all this information into 3 or 4 sentences, because if I use a quick response as a way or an excuse to send someone a book of information that I didn't have to type out so I can put it all in there, then they're not going to read it all. Remember, this is a potential buyer often, and you're looking for a way to give them information quickly and easily and continue that conversation and make sure that you can close that sale. So don't make it too long. Think 3 or 4 sentences, sometimes shorter. Make it poignant, make it personal. I oftentimes leave little parts of my quick response that I can fill in and change words to, put in names, add a beginning sentence that's more personal. So it doesn't all have to be a quick response. It can be, I know I can fill it in with this response and then add a sentence at the beginning, and it's connected, it's personal, but it's the information that they asked for. So that's how you write a great quick response. And you'll figure out ways by trial and error and by seeing what questions people still have after they read your quick responses. Now, third and finally today, I want to talk about when to use quick responses, because that's a really important thing. We've already kind of mainly phrased this conversation or framed this conversation within the idea of responding to a potential customer inside your inbox, which is certainly, as you're growing as a seller, where a lot of your traffic is going to come through and where a lot of your questions are going to come from. So that's definitely a place you should use quick responses. It's something you can use to disseminate portfolio links. If you've got external links and don't have a lot on Fiverr, we've talked about the portfolio section. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch our video about the different portfolios on Fiverr. But if you want to give more samples of your work, like YouTube links or links to other portfolio places, you can certainly have a quick response for that. So you can send over portfolio information. We use quick responses for price tables because a lot of times customers simply message you to ask you for information that's already on your gig description. They'll ask you, what's your rate for this? And you send them back the price tables, and so they have it. You maybe even want to copy parts of your gig description and put them in quick responses, because a lot of buyers don't read gig descriptions, unfortunately, and you just have to disseminate the same information again, and that saves you from having to type it and say the same thing 100 times. Now, one of the most useful places to use quick responses is in a delivery message. This is probably one of the most important places to use it, because this is a critical time in a project. You're delivering finished work. You want the response to be good. You want your delivery to be clear. You want the terms for edits and feedback and all that stuff to be clear for your customer. So you have to make sure when you're delivering a project that you have a well thought out quick response that you can select and then fill in the information that's pertinent to their specific delivery, if you have any. But really, it's a time for you to thank them for their purchase. Say, here's your delivery. Here's what you can do with that if you have any issues. Here's what you can do if you have no issues and you're ready to complete. Explain to them how the process works. And it's one of the most useful times to use a quick response. So not just in the inbox, but when you're sending delivery messages, that's really key. So make sure you take advantage of these great tools, the quick responses. You can write, as far as I know, an infinite number of them. I've never reached a maximum number of quick responses, and I have dozens of them in there. So write some for yourself. Maybe share some tips below about quick response ideas that you've had, ways to use them, ways you have used them successfully. Share it with other people. And then use trial and error. Maybe write a couple different but similar quick responses, then A/B test them with customers. See which ones get better responses and save the best ones. But certainly constantly be refining those things as your time as a seller goes on, because there's nothing better than improving every little thing you do, that 1% every single day, so that one day you turn around and you're 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% better than you were not so long ago. All right, thank you so much for joining me right here on Fiverr Talks. As always, my name is Joel Young, user DJ Young on Fiverr. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos and leaving us comments down below. If you have any questions about anything related to Fiverr, leave the questions below. We're currently compiling some questions and we're almost ready for another Q&A session where I simply put my years of experience to work for you by answering your questions. It's the closest thing to personal coaching you're gonna get from me, and I really think it's gonna be useful if you're a seller and committed to making Fiverr work for you. So make sure you click that subscribe button, hit the bell so you're notified when we put out new videos. Give us a like, a comment, and a share for other Fiverr sellers that you know that could use this information. So until next time, what do we always say? Keep doing, because the future favors the doers.